Once upon a time, there was a man named Johnson who was traveling to a foreign country for the first time. He was excited to immerse himself in a new culture and experience all the sights and sounds of the bustling city. However, Johnson didn't speak the local language and relied on a translation app to communicate with the locals. On his first day in the city, Johnson decided to try some local cuisine and went to a popular restaurant. He opened his translation app and tried to order a dish, but the translation was not quite accurate, and he ended up ordering something completely different from what he intended. The waiter gave him a strange look but brought the dish out anyway. As Johnson was eating, he noticed that people around him were looking at him and giggling. He didn't understand what was going on and started to feel self-conscious. He finished his meal as quickly as possible and left the restaurant, feeling embarrassed and confused. The next day, Johnson went to a local market to buy some souvenirs. He tried to ask a vendor for a specific item using his translation app, but again, the translation was not quite right. The vendor handed him something completely different, and Johnson realized he has no use for it. He tried to return it, but the vendor did not understand him, and the situation quickly escalated into a chaotic argument. Feeling frustrated and helpless, Johnson decided to find a local guide who could help him navigate the city and communicate with the locals. He found a young woman named Julie, who spoke fluent English and was happy to show him around. Julie took Johnson to all the popular tourist spots and introduced him to the local cuisine, which he enjoyed much more with her guidance. As they spent more time together, Johnson began to develop feelings for Julie and started to think that she might feel the same way. Once evening, Johnson decided to take the plunge and tell Julie how he felt. He opened his translation app and carefully typed out his message, which he thought was romantic and heartfelt. Julie read the message and started to giggle. Johnson was confused and asked her what was so funny. Julie explained that the translation app had mistranslated his message, and instead of saying, "I have feelings for you," it has translated to, "I have a fever." Julie couldn't stop laughing, and Johnson felt mortified. Despite the embarrassing misunderstanding, Johnson and Julie become good friends, and Johnson left the city with a newfound appreciation for the complexities of language and culture. He also vowed never to rely solely on a translation app again.